Hello everyone. Our next chapter is in geography, India size and location. What is the landmass of India? The area which it covers by land, and what is the location of India on the globe, right? In which latitude and longitude does it lie? Right? So we'll be discussing about it, and also we'll be discussing about the the neighboring countries of India, and how India is surrounded by its three sides from water bodies, and what role does it play? How strong role does it play in developing marine contacts of India with other countries? So beginning with the slides now. First of all, this is the flow chart of the chapter. If you can see it clearly. Location of India, size of India, India and its connection to the world. How it has connected to the world, right? India and its neighbors. So firstly, if we go through details, now it is location of India. India lies entirely in the northern hemisphere. How? We'll see with the pictorial representation. India's mainland extends between 8 degree 4 north and 37 degree 6 north latitude and 68 degree 7 east and 97 degree 25 east longitudes. The Tropic of Cancer divides India into two almost equal parts. Size of India, covering an area of 3.28 million square kilometers. India's total area is 2.4% of the total geographical area of the world. India is the world's seventh largest country with a land boundary of about 15,200 kilometers with total length of the coastline being 7,516.6 km. India's east-west extent appears to be smaller than the north-south extent. India and its connection. The Indian land mass is centrally located between West and East Asia. India established its contacts with West Asia, Africa and Europe, Southeast and East Asia due to its Deccan Peninsula, which protrudes in the Indian Ocean. The landmass of India helped her to establish more contacts with the outside world compared to the maritime contacts. Maritime contacts means the contacts which it has developed, the sea routes which it has developed with the neighboring countries. India contributed to world its items produced here, and more than its ideas, philosophers and mathematics. So India has contributed to the world its items produced here, and more than that, it has given its ideas through great philosophers, through Vedas, through mathematics. India also gained from this exchange. For example, India's architecture was influenced by Greek sculpture and architectural styles from Southwest Asia. Now, India and its neighbors. India consists of 29, now currently it is 28 states and 8 union territories. If we count now, today, right, it is 28 states and 8 union territories. So you will be making a correction of it. India shares boundaries with Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar and Bhutan. Southern neighbors across the sea consist of two island countries, namely Maldives and Sri Lanka. Now, location of India. Now, the very first point over here was India lies entirely in the northern hemisphere. How? If you see this diagram very carefully, right? This is the northern hemisphere, this is the southern hemisphere. It is the equator which divides the earth into two equal halves, right? and this is your prime meridian. Equator is a latitude at 0 degree and prime meridian is a longitude at 0 degree. Okay? So very clear, equator is a latitude, right? And equator is a latitude at 0 degree and your prime meridian is a longitude at 0 degree. So if you see the division, right, it's very, your India is here. So it's very clear that your India is lying in the northern hemisphere, right? So this is the location of India on the globe in the northern hemisphere. Next diagram, now Tropic of Cancer. If you see, there was very, and the another point was this one, the Tropic of Cancer divides India into almost equal parts. Let's see. Now, this is Tropic of Cancer. It is passing through India. Very clearly, it is dividing India into two equal parts, right? The way equator is dividing the entire globe into two equal parts, that is the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Similarly, your Tropic of Cancer is also dividing India into two equal halves. And it is at 23 degree 5 north. Okay. Now, what are latitudes and longitudes? The earth is divided into degrees of latitudes and longitudes, which help us measure location and time using a single standard. When used together, latitude and longitude define a specific location through geographical coordinates. Those coordinates are what Global Positioning System or GPS uses to provide an accurate locational relay. Longitude and latitude lines measure the distance from the Earth's equator or central axis running east to west and prime meridian in Greenwich, England running north to south. So it's clear, your latitudes, right, they run east to west and your prime meridian north to south. For better understanding, we'll check. No, there is no link. So we'll make a change in it. We'll simply come here and we'll erase it. Now, how we'll understand, for but better understanding now, what we will do is we'll move to the diagrammatical representation, right? We'll start the slideshow. Now, the diagrammatical representation of latitudes and longitudes. Now, let's see what are the facts about latitudes and longitudes. If you see, they are the parallels, right? They're the parallels to the equator are known as parallels. They run in east-west direction. Measure distance north or south from the equator. They measure distance like this, right? They run in the east-west direction, but they measure distance like this. Now, are parallel to one another and never meet. Cross the prime meridian at right angles. Lie in planes that cross the Earth's axis at right angles. And they get shorter towards the pole with only the equator the longest line. Why? Because you can see, right? The circles are becoming smaller, right? So as they are moving towards the pole, they are getting shorter, right? They'll run in the east-west direction. Clear? But they measure distance from north to south. Make it clear. They measure distance from north to south. Longitude now. If we talk about longitude, and yes, they run from 0 to 90 degree. Longitude 0 to 180 degree. If it's clear in the diagram, it's running till 180 degree. So what are latitudes? Are known as meridians. Run in a north-south direction. Now they are running in the north-south direction, but they measure distance from east to west. are farthest apart at the equator and meet at the poles. They cross equator at right angles, it's very clear, lie in the planes that pass through the Earth's axis, and they are equal in length, right? So difference between latitude and longitude, as they move towards the poles, they get shorter, but the longitudes are equal in length. And also with the help of these degrees, right, which are given, how we will locate the location. Now let's see. What is a grid system first? In order to accurately pinpoint, this is the grid system, the coordinates. You have seen in your graphical representation, you do graph work, right? In graph work, you locate the position, like if it is a graph running, x-axis, y-axis, right? You locate points with the help of coordinates. Similar is the grid system, and all these are imaginary lines. In order to accurately pinpoint the position of any place on Earth, a grid system is used. It points to the location by using two coordinates, latitude and longitude. Pilots or ship captains use latitude and longitude lines to find the shortest distance between 2 points. You do it in graph also, right? You can also use the geographic grid to give a specific location by giving the intersection. This is the intersection of latitude and longitude. If you see, it's clear here, right? By giving the intersection of the latitude and longitude lines at that point. If we see the example, it's of a point P. It says the point P lies on the parallel of latitude. Now it lies on the parallel of latitude. It is lying on the parallel of latitude at 50 degree north. If you see, it is 60 degree, right? It is 40 degrees, so this comes out to be 50 degree north. It is moving. Why? Because latitudes, they measure distance from north to south. So 50 degree north ho gaya, right? And on the meridian at 60 degree. Now this is the meridian, right? Meridian now. This is the meridian intersecting as 60 degree. Why? Meridian measures the distance like this. So it is a 60 degree. So it's 50 degree north long, 60 degree west. This is how you calculate the distance, right? Though latitudes run like this, but they measure distance like this. Longitudes, they run like this, but they measure distance like this. Latitudes, they measure distance from 0 to 90 degree, right, on both the sides of the poles. Simply remember your graph, the graph which you use in your math, right? Now longitudes, they are running north to south, but they are measuring distance like this. So easily you can locate point P now. India and the world. The Indian landmass is centrally located between West and East Asia. The trans-Indian Ocean routes connect countries in the west and countries in the south, in the east, right? The trans-Indian Ocean routes. India's protruding Deccan Peninsula. Now simply, we can go over here. We can go over here, the map of India. And if you look, this is the protruding, this is the peninsular part of India, right? It is lying in the, right? And it protrudes into the Indian Ocean. It is surrounded by water bodies on three sides. These are the neighboring countries of India. These are the neighboring countries of India through land routes, right? And how India is connected to the world through its sea routes. Let's see. Now this is India, right? It is in the central location of India. This is you can say eastern side, and this is the western side. So this is your West Asia, and this is your East Asia. So India is connected to Africa and other African continent. India is connected to other Eastern Asian countries. India is connected through other Eastern Asian countries through sea routes. It has established sea links for trade and other work. It gets connected to West Asia and East Asia through sea routes. India is the only nation which has a ocean named after it, that is the Indian Ocean. Now, India has contributed a lot to the world in forms of ideas, philosophies, Upanishads, Ramayana, and mathematics. We all know that. Now, India and neighbors, we have already discussed. India has 28 states and 8 union territories. India shares its boundaries with Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Bhutan. The southern neighbors across the sea consist of 2 island countries, namely Maldives and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is separated from India by Park Straits, a narrow strip of sea. We know that. India always have and had strong geographical and historical links with her neighbors. India stands apart from the rest of Asia. Now, homework, find out the longitudinal and latitudinal extent not just of your state but India as well. I've taught you how to find it out. Collect information about the Silk Route. Also find out the new developments which are improving communication routes in the regions of high altitude. If there is any problem related to the chapter, you can message me your queries on WhatsApp and do your homework regularly. Thank you.